Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we're going to talk about lines, and we're going to do a little line practice. And we're going to use markers to do our lines. But if you don't have markers, you can use crayons or even a pencil. But today we're going to practice our different kinds of lines. And we're going to do each one time across the paper. But if you want to do it more than once, feel free. So first I'm going to take my red marker here, and I'm just going to make a straight line. And a straight line goes, remember, a line is a dot that went for a walk. So if I got a dot right here, then if I move that dot straight across the paper, here's my straight line. Now right now that line is from side to side. That's called a horizontal line. Horizontal is side to side. If I turn my paper like this, now it would be a vertical line because it's going top to bottom. And if my line was corner to corner, it would be called diagonal. So we have horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. Those are three vocabulary words that you might want to learn. So now I'm going to do a zigzag. So I'm going to pick up my next color, which is going to be orange. Take off my top, and remember, anytime you use a marker, you take off the top, you put it on the back, and then you use the marker. We put it on the back so we don't lose our cap, because these caps are round and they can roll off the table. So now I'm going to do a zigzag. So a zigzag zigzags diagonal up, diagonal down, diagonal up, diagonal down, zigzag, 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 zigzag. And a zigzag has a little point at each end. That's how you can tell it's a zigzag and not a curvy curve. Next we're going to do a curvy curve. When you put your top on your marker, you want to always make sure that it snaps and there's no gap. If you look at it right now, that little empty part right there, that's called a gap, and that lets air get into our marker. And if air gets into our marker, then that makes it dry out and then we can't use it. So we got to make sure there's no gap and it snaps. Listen for the snap. Did you hear it? It snapped, and now there's no gap. So now I'm going to use yellow for my curvy curve. And my curvy curve is just like, kind of like the zigzag, but instead of a point, it curves. It's nice and smooth. Curvy curve, curve up, curve down, curve up, curve down, all the way across my paper. And we're doing these horizontally, but if you want to try to practice some going top to bottom like this, you can. Like if you practice and do two of each line, you can do one that goes side to side and then just turn your paper and do one that goes top to bottom. That's an excellent idea if you want to do it like that. Next I'm going to get green. So I got my green marker, and now we're going to do what's called bumpy bumps. So we're going to do bumpy bumps to the top. So bumpy bump is kind of like a little bit zigzag and a little bit curvy curve. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So I curve up and make a bump, like an upside down U, and then I do it again and again and again, all the way, bump, 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 all the way across the paper. Now you'll notice that there is a point on one end and a curve on the other end. That's why I said it's kind of like this one and like this one. The next one we're going to do, I'll put away my green here, make sure it snaps, is going to be a blue, and this is going to be a bumpy bump, but it's upside down. So instead of going up with my bumps, I go down, bump, and I'm making a row of U's. Bump, 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 all the way across my paper. And like I said, if you want to try to do this up and down, okay, you can do it up and down too, vertical, to practice. Now the last one we're going to do, if you don't have space on your paper for this, you might want to get another sheet of paper, or just do it on a scrap piece of paper, is we're going to get purple and we're going to do a swirly swirl. Now a swirly swirl starts with a dot, and then you go around the dot and you keep getting bigger, curving around the dot, right like that. Now I can do this going big, starting big, and then making it smaller too. So if I go out and make it big, almost a circle, but then I go inside of the circle and inside, so I get right to the middle. I can do it like that too. So I hope you had fun practicing your lines today. And once you know how to do all these lines, you can make some really cool art. You could use zigzags to make the top of hair, like Bart Simpson's hair. You could use straight lines to draw the U's. A U, Bumpy Bump, if you go around, it can make a cloud. Okay, so practice your lines and make sure you show it to your teacher or upload it to Schoology. And I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.